So I think about this a lot. The idea of a 50-50 relationship, it doesn't really exist. I mean, the idea of a 50-50 slash partnership relationship, I mean, thinking about it, it sounds pretty, but like people will say, oh, I want relationships to work like a 50-50 business. There is no such thing as a 50-50 partnership. There's a major share owner and there's a minor shareholder. 50-50 business relationships work almost identically to traditional relationships, meaning that yes, you sit down, you have decisions, but the partner that owns the most equity has the final say so. So even if you want your relationship to work like a business, even if you want your relationship to work like a business, you're still saying, I want a traditional relationship. Because in partnerships, the partner that owns more equity has the final decision making power. So if you want a 50-50 business and the man has more equity, you actually are still in a traditional relationship. Because in a 50-50 partnership, the majority shareholder has the final decision making power. So there truly can be no 50-50 relationship. If 50-50 relationships existed, then that means that dating would have to be 50-50. You can't have a 50-50 relationship and the whole time you were dating it was not 50-50. It is not a 50-50 relationship if he's paid for all of the dates, then on date 3 maybe you pay for half. If you want a 50-50 relationship, then you have to start with the 50-50 relationship, meaning that you should be paying 50-50 on everything. I actually don't believe in 50-50 relationships. I'm traditional. I think that men should be able to afford to pay all of the bills and to work so she can afford to own the things that she wants. I think that men should pay for all of the needs. Needs are bills, not vacation. Those are wants. I think men are responsible for the bills, the transportation, and the food. That's that's reasonable because we would have to do that for ourselves anyway. But if a man isn't rich and a woman wants lots of things, then I think, yeah, she should be able to work and pay for her own stuff. But simultaneously, uh, it would be nice if women had the choice. As a man, if you could provide your woman with a choice, but once again, it's hard to believe in the idea that there could be a 50-50 relationship. How could there be a 50-50 relationship if, in the majority of the dating, if the time for everything? So he pays for everything, all of the dating, and then when you guys get in a relationship, then now you're partners. How does that work? How do you have a when women say that they believe in 50-50 relationships, then I have to ask, if women believe that men and women are equal in every way, which we're equal in the opportunity that we should be given, but we're not equal in our roles and desires. We're equal in the ability to do 99.9% of each job effectively, but we're not equal in our desire to do every duty. We're just not. We're just not. So if you truly believe in 50-50 relationships, then I will say, if you're a woman and you believe in equality, you should have paid for 50% of all the first dates that you've ever attended. If you haven't paid for 50%, not half of the dates, you should have paid for 50% of all the first dates. Believe in equality. Until you pay for half of all the first dates that you've been on, I don't truly believe that you believe in equality, or else you would be paying an equal amount for the things that you see valuable. Oh, okay. So if you believe in equality, then my question to you is, out of all of those first dates, did you approach half of those guys and initiate conversation? If you haven't initiated 50%, if you believe that men and women are equal, then women should have paid for 50% of all first dates that they've ever had if they truly believe in equality. If women truly believe in equality, then they would have paid for 50% of all of the first dates that they've ever had because they believe that men and women can do and should do everything equally. So, by that logic, every woman that believes in equality should have paid for 50% of their first dates. Do I believe that? No, because I'm a traditional man and think that men should pay for all of the things that are needed, such as the bills, the lights, the things wants, then the things that they want is above their means. I mean, it's we got to figure out what we're living for. Are we living a frivolous life? Are we living within our means? Are we living for happiness? Are we living to stat on people? What are we doing? What are we doing? That's all I'm trying to figure out. But in my opinion, that 50-50 relationship, it sounds good though. Don't get me wrong, it sounds good. And I've had women try to argue with me about partnership and say, well, 50-50 is just like a partnership, it's a business. And it's funny because those women that say that, those women, usually you can't talk to them because they're so busy screaming and trying to overtalk you that you can't have a conversation. But I like to ask women that pretend that they like believe in equality, but they don't, because if you ask them if they paid for 50% of their first dates, they're going to say no. If you ask them if they've approached 50% of the men that they were attracted to, they're going to say no. So I believe that men and women are equal. We are equal and we could equally do about 99.9% of jobs without modifying or altering, the position based on biology. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not. Men can be nurturers. We can physically do the job, but there's a nurturing characteristic that women have that make them better at it. Like, women are just nurturing. Like, if I'm hurting and I'm in excruciating pain and there's a man helping me, I'm gonna feel a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna feel different. I'm gonna feel different. So this 50-50 stuff, I mean, it sounds good. I mean, that's the thing, women are audible. So things that sound good, they gravitate to and towards. And I hope that people don't misunderstand this video as me saying that, men and women aren't equally capable. Men and women are equally capable of 99.9% of jobs, without altering for biological differences. But we don't biologically like and tolerate the same things. Like, I believe, once again, men and women we can equally do about 99.9% of all jobs. We can easily. That's just the fact. Now, can we do them equally well? Can we have the same success rate? Not necessarily, because men and women are different. Women are programmed to be social, and men are programmed to men. We can be social, but that's not our strength. See, the elder women, the younger and the older women would provide daycare for the children, and they would provide nursing services for, the elder or the convalescent. So women have always congregated together and nurtured the community. They took care of the kids that were coming into the world, and then they stood by the sides of the elders that left the world. Women's role is so important, but it's so not what men are capable for. Men have a harder time coping with emotion, with physical pain versus, we don't as much as women do. We just don't. Women, um, tribal in our tribal days, once again, the women were the midwives and they would congregate. They were responsible for birth, not men, not doctors. Women were together, they congregate together in groups, tribally, and they're there for the elder's last breath. That's a role biologically that I don't think that men can handle. I don't think we're emotionally strong enough to handle that job. Like, I'm sure we could do it, but that's not our strong suit. Just like women can do construction, women can be in the army and all of that, but we have to lower the physical requirements to allow women to pass that, which is an admission that we are different. We have different strengths. We can do 99.9% of things that each other can do biologically, but that doesn't mean that we should. That doesn't mean that that's the best outcome for society or for people. You could do what you want. I could do what I want, but no woman will ever. She might feel safe and comfortable, but there's always a place in her spirit that doesn't sit well. The same with men. A man that isn't truly leading will never feel like a man. He'll always have to do things to compensate. And it's nothing wrong with tradition. It's nothing wrong with making your own rules and ways if it doesn't hurt you or your family. But there is equity in tradition. And you shouldn't be ashamed to uphold your tradition. You just shouldn't.